What's up, everyone? Today is another Black Beacon video, and I want to talk about specifically the tier list kind of craze that's been going on online. There's been a lot of different tier lists that have been released for Black Beacon. Some of them have changed, a day after. Some of them have changed dramatically. Others have been relatively consistent or have had small tweaks. And I think this illustrates a point that even though this game does have characters that are better than others, I would say overall just play whatever characters that you think are enjoyable, which ones you like the combos for. And some people just want to collect characters they really like and based on visuals or other reasons. And I think that's totally fine too. I don't think there's any content that you can't do if you just play the game how you want to play the game. Now, one thing to mention is there are characters that are better. Obviously, there are characters who have better synergy with each other. I think overall you should at least have one character in your team that is doing DPS damage, high damage. But if you're just trying to clear the campaign, do some of the side stuff, and not really be competitive in the other areas of the game, I think you can pretty much play however you want. Now, one thing to keep in mind is freaking Inky, screw this guy. His kit sucks. But besides him, play whoever you want. I think with these games, especially in a few months, there's going to be new characters that are going to be better than all the characters in the game currently, and you're constantly chasing the next big thing. And really, the only way to maintain that chase is just to spend lots of money. So I think if you're a free-to-play player, you just want to play whoever is fun to you, go for it. Don't let tier lists hold you back. And one thing to keep in mind with tier lists too is a lot of times there's like a general tier list of like overall best characters in the game. They're great in all areas or they suck in all areas, or there's some specific tier lists that focus on certain, game modes, different areas of the game. And so you want to make sure if you are referring to those tier lists that you're looking at what they are for specifically, because some will be for specific areas and there are units that are good in certain game modes and not as good in others. So if you are someone who really is into following those tier lists and want to min-max, that's fine. I have no quarrel with that. But I know a lot of people just want to play the game because they want to collect their favorite characters. For me personally, these top three, Logos, Zero, and Florence, these are my favorite characters just based on their gameplay and their just visual designs. I think they look really cool. Also happen to get a lot of copies of Logos just from normal pulls, and so I decided to kind of build her out some. Florence, I've only gotten one copy of because I've been pulling through the event, and I'm hoping to get a few more copies of her. But I just think she looks really cool. I like that you get a free skin for her. I think this skin is pretty solid. And then I also like that her Radiant Series skin is not the typical pink-haired version like you see with a lot of the characters. And that's kind of my reasoning. These are obviously all three pretty solid characters. They're in the top tier in a lot of areas, but I have no reason to be picking them besides the things I mentioned. If Zero was kind of mid right now, or Logos was mid, I would probably still be playing these characters. I think most characters in the game, especially the 4-cost units where you can get a lot of copies of them easier and build them up, are pretty viable, except for Inky. Screw that guy. But I think, most of these characters are fun. You'll be able to have fun with them. And I think it kind of shows your personality and shows your uniqueness when you pick characters that maybe aren't the best. And you kind of build them out and you kind of have fun with them. And one thing to keep in mind is sometimes characters that kind of suck early on end up being really good later on because they get paired with a new unit that is broken. And for whatever reason, their combos or their support abilities work really well with the new unit. And then they kind of get buffed up in that regard. So I wouldn't, at this point in the game, I wouldn't focus too much on the tier list. That's my opinion. Some people might disagree, but I think overall, just have fun at the game. You can clear basically all the content with pretty much any characters, if I'm being honest. Zero and Logos are technically not supposed to be super high DPS. They're a little bit more support characters, but I'm clearing everything fine. I've cleared most things in hard mode. Obviously, I can still get them a lot higher. And, I think I'll just continue playing how I want to play. And if I want to build up a few other characters eventually, that's fine too. But I also think the game is really generous to free-to-play players. I think you'll be able to get almost every 4-star unit built out pretty far just by playing the game over time. And I think that'll give you a lot of options as well. to create different teams that have different synergy and combos together. And I think overall, don't focus too much on the tier list. That's my piece of advice. And that's my rant for the day. I don't really have much more. I'm going to keep playing, though. I have a lot of free time today, and I'm going to keep playing this game to see if I can progress through chapter 4. I just finished 3 yesterday, and I want to get through 4 today, hopefully, and then maybe get another copy of Florence if I'm lucky. But if you like this video, if you want to see more Black Beacon content, make sure you like and subscribe below. This is my second channel, so it's pretty new as far as followers and getting some traffic. So hoping to get a little more traffic, get more people to kind of comment on videos, see what your experience has been like. But as always, hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Peace.